the question we're asking is, are we prepared for a hurricane or a flood here on Long Island? It's my pleasure to welcome Carlos Varon, a hurricane preparedness associate who will give us some great tips. Carlos, it's not good to see you because you make me nervous. But welcome. We're glad you're here.
Thanks, Father Jim. It's a pleasure being here.
So, you know, do you find, generally speaking, I mean, the people who you come in contact with through the Red Cross here in Nassau County, are we ready?
We're getting better.
Yeah?
We're getting better. But it's still a challenge.
Mm-hmm.
It's still a challenge because New Yorkers or Long Islanders, because it's been since 1938, they were hit with a major storm. They say New Yorkers are a tough, resilient lot that they say, no, it's not going to happen to us. To them, it's just images in Mississippi, in Florida, in North Carolina. And to them, it's not going to happen. And the reality is we have to really wake up. We really have to wake up and take care of ourselves. Because if anything, the lessons that we learn or we keep on seeing over in the devastation in those areas, and Katrina specifically was a big wake-up call.
Mm-hmm.
What can we do for ourselves? What can we do for our neighbors? What can we do for our friends and family? And because Nassau County specifically, and also Suffolk County, but we are geographically like a bottleneck. And I don't think people realize that you know, they don't play with the scenario, what if? What if you cannot, this is an island, island, let's repeat that. It's an island where, what if the bridges you can't cross over? What if the fact is that at the airports you cannot fly out. The JFK will be underwater, LaGuardia Airport will be underwater, our local airports will be underwater. What can you before the cavalry arrives? And that's really what I want people to get away to say, you know, before the government can get and help in your local municipality, can you do something for yourself? Are you in an area that is safe? Can you do something for that neighbor that you should look into? These are the things that we should be aware of. And my goal is to reach out to associations, faith-based groups, and communities just to say, look, let's not play if it's going to happen. You know, it's going to happen. It's a matter of when. So better to prepare now and be aware of what you are and what you can do. And a lot of the times when I talk to the groups, I say, do you know where you are if in a flood zone? I think you mentioned earlier that where you knew you were, where you live, you took the time to investigate, you know, areas with you have insurance, you know, are you close to the water? So you already took those proactive steps. But a lot of times people, when I take a map, people don't, then when they look at it and they see these areas that are going to be under category 1, 2, 3, or 4, they're like, I didn't know I was that close. There was what I would call a lot of aha, a lot of aha moments.
Oh, I feel right now.
And you know, that's good.
Yeah.
That's very good. Better to have an aha moment now than say, you know, when you start hearing that there's evacuation going in process.
Sure.
And the American Red Cross working with the county, Nassau County government, and you know, and also our counterparts in Suffolk County, we're working very hard to get people more aware of that, working with your municipalities. So many villages and so many towns out here that are taking a very aggressive step to work with the Red Cross and identifying facilities, educating the people, because again, the idea is, can you be self-sufficient? So
and I noticed you brought a kit with you today. Now, this is just recommendations in the sense of, this is an emergency preparedness kit?
This would be considered one of many styles of emergency go kits.
Okay.
And a go kit is basically that, ask yourself, what if your house was on fire? What if you had to leave quickly? What items that if they told you, they gave you a very short amount of time to get out and prepare? And we're talking about right now, the type of kit that we have, again, is just a general. It's not the end-all, the be-all, because everybody makes it, but it's a 3 days for 2 persons. We have in these kits. And this is a backpack mode, which, again, a lot of people find very useful because of the fact it's got the straps. You can put extra items, and especially in an environment like that, you want to keep your hands free, because you don't know if the terrain you're going to be going through is going to be dangerous. You have to need your balance. So we recommend, again, and the items that you put inside these things is because, again, water is going to be scarce. You're talking about some quick energy food, So again, if you have particular
Yeah, can you show us
snack
quickly, jump through some of those? And I noticed they're all wrapped in plastic. Obviously, that's water protection, right?
Yes, it's just for protection right now. This is just for it, so we don't want to reopen it. But we have water. We have basic emergency water. Again, this is just one style. This does not mean that you have to have this style. You can
Right.
have bottled water. You know, so be aware of
Where would you
bottled
find
water.
water like that? I've never seen that.
This is from this specific manufacturer.
Oh,
Again,
okay.
this is from the U.S. Coast Guard, as a matter of
Ah.
fact. There,
Okay.
but again, it's not necessarily. It could be any generic bottled water that
Sure.
you want to carry there. You know, you're going to have gloves in case to pick up things. Because it's going to be assuming broken glass, opening doors, getting material debris out of the way, snacks, energy, food. And again, there's a list of items that are recommended. It's not, has to be these items. Emergency lights, batteries, dust masks, ponchos. And again, you tailor it so that you know that if you have to leave the home, you have some of this material readily accessible. One of my biggest things that I keep on showing folks is that these are, I guess for those of you in the service there, remember these are MREs, or meals ready to eat.
Okay.
Now they've come a long time, long distance from those days of being, war days, but you're talking about, this is the type of food meals that are basically, I mean, right now I'm holding up your favorite, Cajun-style rice with beans, okay,
But again, in a storm, any port will do,
and
right?
a storm will do it. And
Yeah.
these type of meals is probably what you're going to be looking at for at least until the hot meals can be set up by the
Right.
various kitchens and groups. And these are all prepackaged. These cook. They're all self-contained. They have spoons. They have dessert. They're like this. I mean, this is the...
And you
it's
can
a-
buy those. Like, we can get those
Yes,
online.
these are
or-
readily available online, and you
Yeah.
can get in these. And right now, the Red Cross is looking into at least purchasing anywhere from 25,000, 30,000 of these to have pre-stage
Just in
throughout
case.
the area,
Great.
because we're being very aggressive in trying to establish not only shelters so that they're obviously out of the flood areas, but to be in a position that to be able to help not only the community that was affected by they can do, but then it would allow the communities, because what we're looking for is communities to support those facilities.
Right,
So in the
right.
event that when those who are displaced, who can't help themselves, are be able to help by the community.
Right.
And it's
How about talking it over with the parents? Because I know you kind of, like, parents with kids and kids with parents, like, families need to talk about this, don't they?
It's so important. It really is. I mean, the emotional stress, the psychological damage that is being done. I mean, families are being uprooted. It's I can't tell you. You have to talk about it. You have to make
Yeah.
that plan. And when I talk to folks, I say, know where you live. Once you know where you live and you identify that, and if you don't know if you're in a flood zone, look it up. I mean, any number of sites. You can call up, you can look up at our Nassau County website, you can go up to the Nassau County Office of Emergency Management, you can check with your local town. They all have some way of showing if your home is in a flood zone. And that's very important. Once you've identified that your home, now check out your family and relatives. Are your family as well? And now let's start thinking, you may be mobile. You
Sure.
might be fine. You may say, I'm self-sufficient. But what about your mom and your dad?
Right, what
What
about
about your aunt, your uncle? Those who need special needs, who are going to be, a little bit, find out where they live also, and maybe help them prepare some sort of a quick kit so that once you identify that, then make that plan, have that contact information.
Now, I
that
know you
can-
had 3 things, too, by the way, because I know we're getting short of time. 3 things that you're supposed to remember. Did you have 3 things that are important when it comes to this?
Well, you make a plan.
Make a plan.
Make a plan. Train, prepare yourself as in the sense of first aid. Where to go. Organize yourself. And just being aware. That's what
And
I
be
really
aware,
want
yeah,
you aware.
yeah.
To prepare, to plan, and to train. And
Yeah.
and if you see that you're in good shape, then and you think that you're safe, then we need an urgent appeal for volunteers,
Yeah.
for shelters. Because that's what we're going to be needing. Where all this humanity is going to become, that's where we're really going to need you.
Well prepared. And Carlos, I thank you for giving us your time. And, maybe your parish group wants to have a presentation. Get in touch with the Red Cross. We should do this kind of thing because this is part and parcel of our responsibility and stewardship.